Well, it seems that way. You know, in the first two games, he's played averaging a little less than 32 minutes and has played extremely well. And I thought, you know, obviously against Denver, looked really rested. And I mean, the little bit of rust that I saw in the first game was completely gone. So, so far that experiment is working. We're just going to keep at it and see how it turns out.
You talk about experiments, 31 assists, a season high versus Denver. What was flowing offensively?
Well, our spacing was so much better, and our ball movement was so much better. So, guys did a great job of getting in their spots and getting ready to catch and shoot. And if they didn't have it, they were able to catch it and move it. You know, and that was just the key to our hot shooting at the start of the game, and you know, with the high assists.
You mentioned hot shooting the past two games, shooting over 50% from the field. Does that ball movement correlate to the high percentage?
Well, I think so. I think, you know, like I said, our spacing has gotten so much better, Coach, and really try to emphasize the last couple of games. We're doing a much better job of setting screens, and our guards have to do a much better job of setting guys up. So we're still working on those two aspects, but the spacing was great, and the guys are delivering the pass on time, and guys are catching it in rhythm.
What are our chances of seeing Ryan Kelly play Friday?
Chance is pretty good. You know, I think if everything goes well tomorrow, tomorrow's practice will be a little bit heavier than today, and then you know, we'll see how he feels on Friday morning and shoot around, and then we'll go from there.
This new Kobe, is there too much being made of it, or has he sort of adjusted his game, or is he giving what the defense give him?
Yeah, when you guys say this new Kobe, this is not a new Kobe. This is a guy who's been doing this for 19 years, basically. So, again, against Denver, you know, at times they were coming double teaming him, and like I said, we kept our spacing was great. Made some great passes out to our guys who made shots. You know, so I don't think it's a new Kobe at all. It's just an old Kobe, you know, doing the same old things he's been doing. But you know, last game against Denver, our guys just did a great job of spacing and moving the ball and catching and shooting and getting to the basket.
The plan that now moving forward, when you look at this schedule, if there's 5 games and 7 nights, will you now say, okay, you're taking this particular night off, or will you see how he goes or see how he feels?
Well, again, this is pretty much day by day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to, speculate on 5 games in 7 nights because I don't even know what that is, to be honest with you. In our schedule, I have no idea. All I know about is that we play Friday and Sunday and Monday, and I think Wednesday, something like that. So that's about as far as I go. You know, so gave him the day off. I'll talk to him later on to see how he feels about coming in tomorrow and getting some shots or practicing. But like I said, so far this experiment is working extremely well, and the days off and the 32 minutes or lower has been working well. So we'll just kind of stick with that for right now.
Kobe had a triple-double about a month ago, give or take, and there was a stretch where he was passing and getting really big assist numbers and not looking to shoot as much. And then he kind of went back to what he's a scorer, so he kind of went back to his shooting. Now you had a game or two where you've gotten that kind of passing Kobe. Is this really a reaction to the defenses, or is there? How do you communicate with Kobe? Do you want him to be that kind of facilitator?
I like him to be I like him to be a little bit more aggressive and take a little bit more shots. But I think again, it's all dictated by the way the defense is playing. If you look at the Phoenix game, they doubled him. If they didn't double him, they stacked it. You know, which means he had a guy guarding him, and then when he turned, he looked. There's another guy on that side, another guy on that side. Denver was the same thing, and at times Denver came to get him and double team him. So he's just basically taking what the defense is giving him. I mean, that's what great players do. And in the last 2 games, he's been able to, his shot selection has been great, but he hasn't gotten the number of shots that we would like him to get on a normal basis. But everything else has been up, so you can't argue with that. But again, it's all predicated on how the defense plays.
You don't have necessarily a feeling like you want him to be a triple-double guy. Like that's this thing. It's just you want to react to what's in front of you.
I want him to play basketball, and that's what he does best.
Last night, Kobe said he used that time off not just to rest and get his body better, but to actually reflect on his own game and how he needs to change his game. I don't know if you saw, but last night he actually told the media that he recognizes he has to evolve his game, kind of to be more point two. Does he talk to you about those things, or does he just kind of make those and then he makes it happen?
Well, we talked about it, I would say it was less than a week ago, about the point guard position. And to be honest with you, a lot of it I kind of leave up to Kobe because I know on the floor, he sees everything that's kind of going on, and he has a different mindset on the floor than I do, and a different view on the floor than I do from the sideline. And sometimes, even with great players, especially, you ask them when they're coming off the floor and during timeouts, what do they see? What is going on out there? So with him, I don't know how much his game can evolve because of how great he's been his whole career, but these last 2 games, I think he has a really good understanding of how teams are going to play him and how they've been playing him. And if they're going to continue to play him that way, I think he's probably have in his mind that he's just going to pick them apart.
Yeah, he also said it's time for him to perfect another area, kind of talking about that area. I'm sure that doesn't surprise him at all.
No, I mean, he's a perfectionist. 11 assists last night, but he has about over 6,000 in his career, right? So that's pretty damn good. So he's not only a scorer, he's a basketball player, and that's basically how I look at him.
B, I think you would agree with me that if I told you anybody would have 20 turnovers at Denver, you're usually not going to win that game.
Right.
How'd y'all win that game?
Hot shooting, good defense for about 3.5 quarters. We really, I'll say 3 quarters. We played really good, solid defense. We had some careless passes. We got a little sloppy with the basketball at times, but our defense really got us started. Obviously in the offensive end, the way we were shooting the ball, that got us going too. So that, we really kind of survived last night. We didn't win the game like we should have. Because I told the guys afterwards, when you have a team down like that, you have to have some type of killer instinct, and you can't be Mr. Nice Guy.
Pretty uncharacteristic, though, because this team has been taking care of the ball well.
Very, very uncharacteristic for us because we're one of the top teams in the league as far as fewest turnovers per game. So last night, like I said, I thought we got a little flip with the ball, a little careless, and I think having a big lead, we got that way and lost a little bit of our focus, and it's something that we have to work on.